Hello my friends and welcome, my name is Dennis and this is the latest update from Ukraine. We have a major update and successful counterattack from Ukrainian side on the south part of Ukraine. Just look at this picture, we can see the new blue areas, it means that Ukrainian army is going forward. Also the gray area increased dramatically and this picture was during my last video, so situation changes every hour. So firstly we took Snegurivka, some parts of that, and today each hour our forces go forward to Kherson. Well, good news. So I think Russia really decided to withdraw their forces from Kherson and northern part of this region, and they will accumulate their forces on the south part of it. They may concentrate some of their artillery systems to target Kherson city. They want Ukrainian army to go there to take the city, and after that they will start shelling. But we have the HIMARS rocket artillery systems, we have aviation and usual barrel type of artillery, which usually has the longer range compared to the Russian artillery. Still, the fighting is ongoing in that area because Russia is withdrawing not with all of their forces, but little by little. Still, I expect that in a few days Ukrainian army will enter Kherson. I promise you, my friends, that till the New Year we're gonna take Kherson. Well, now it's not yet the winter time and the Ukrainian army is very close to the city, and today there were some of the reports that Ukrainian special forces already entered Kherson city with the small groups. Russian side haven't negotiated any kind of the ceasefire or safe corridors for their army, so that is why our artillery continued to fire towards Antonovsky Bridge, Russian ferries, and they desperately tried to evacuate from that area but sustained dramatic losses. And we expect to have more BTRs, tanks and everything from the Russian army, because from Kherson city there is no way how they would take tanks with them. Still, they may use this way, the Kakhovsky Dam. There are some of the bridges, small improvised DIY made that Russia used to evacuate the heavy vehicles, but we may target that area with our HIMARS systems. So from the picture I see today, it's 100% that Ukrainian army will take Kherson. But what will happen next? You see this airfield, it's Chaplinka, and Russia uses it as their base for the helicopters and some of the attack airplanes as Su-25. And I wonder if we can reach that airfield if we take the northern part of the Kherson region. So I guess this will be the shortest place. Yes, almost 60 kilometers. It is within the range of the HIMARS system. It could be the second Chernobyevka for the Russian army. Just to remind you, Chernobyevka is here. Russia already evacuated from that airfield. It was under attack by Ukrainian artillery for a long time, but it's gonna be Chaplinka's turn to be under attack. But Russia also may use, as I say, their artillery to target Kherson aviation as well. So for us it's very important to target Russian artillery at first and after go for the continuous counterattack. And yes, for Ukrainian army the main goal now is to cross the Dnieper river, and for that we may use Novakhovka Dam because it hasn't been destroyed, but Russian army may try to do it. In that case it would be absolutely almost, let's say, impossible for Ukrainian army to cross the Dnieper river because it will become wider, but it will create the catastrophic outcome for Energodar. Energodar is here, and the water level here will drop and new water will not be able to go to the cooling pool of the nuclear power plant. So I guess Russians would not dare to play with that. And as you can see, this dam is still alive. Ukrainian army hasn't targeted because it's not in our interest, and I guess it's not the interest of Russia because this part, the south part, will be just flooded and Russia has now their army on the south part of the Dnieper river. If Ukrainian army cross the Dnieper river, it will open the new opportunities to go to Armyansk, which is on a way to Crimea itself. Can we reach this critical road for the supplies from Crimea to this territory of Russia? Yes, we may try to do so, and in that case we may target again the supply lines for Russia, and again it may be the same situation for them as here in Kherson. So here we have just some of the supply lines as we're here across the Dnieper River. So could be the same scenario if Ukrainian army would get enough weapons, long-range missiles to target this road and this road, we may just cut Russians from this part. Also good news for Mykolaiv, because we push Russians away from that city. That is why we expect less artillery shells coming to the Mykolaiv city. Also, Russia uses S-300 rockets, ballistic missiles that they converted from the ground to air to ground systems, and now they target Mykolaiv with that stuff. We expect less of that coming, and for Mykolaiv it's almost freed from the Russian occupiers. As you can see, just this part is still under the Russian occupation. So as for the military map, I like what I see, and now let's go for the latest news and events. According to the latest reports, the Ukrainian army is already in Chernobyivka. Reports are coming from the governor of the Mykolaiv region. And this is our artillery that fires towards the retreating Russian army. And as I told you, Russia hasn't asked for the ceasefire to safely withdraw their forces. And yes, here is some kind of the information. It's in Russian, obviously, but I may translate to you that some of the special forces of Ukraine is already in Kherson, were spotted in Kherson. They use small groups to cover up traps that were installed by the Russian army. And according to the information coming from the local people in Kherson, Russia have destroyed most of the facilities, including electrical power plants and other stuff. They also put the minefields, they mine the infrastructure, while they do what they can to slow down Ukrainian army. And locals already met Ukrainian army with our flags. Yes, they were under occupation for 8 months. Quite a lot. Interesting, some of the Republicans asked Biden to increase the military help to Ukraine. For example, Mike McCall called Biden to deliver ATACMS rockets to Ukrainian army, and we have the signs that we already got those rockets. This information is not official, but Biden, I think, said something about it in his latest speech. There are 2 rockets, one is 600 miles and one that goes about 160 miles. We didn't give them any ones that go to 600 miles. He didn't say anything about 160 miles. He said we didn't give them, but we gave them, in that case, 160 miles rocket. So yes, President Biden was speaking about PRSM rockets that has the range up to 500 kilometers, and he didn't say anything about ATACMS, so probably we have them already. President Biden said that supplyment of those drones may lead to escalation of the war. I don't know, my friends. We have Bayraktar drones, we have very advanced systems that operate in our skies. This is more advanced compared to Bayraktar, but still, I would like to see them in Ukraine, and hopefully we'll see them anyways. President of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, said that withdrawal of the Russian forces from Kherson is the positive decision taken by Russia. Poland sent 1,570 Starlink stations to Ukraine. Awesome. Still, we have to pay the subscription, but it's much lower compared to European and American users. We pay just 60 bucks per month, and our volunteers collect funds to cover that cost of internet. According to the latest information from our generals, Russia still has around 20,000 soldiers that are in that area. They don't know what to do. Our army goes, the supply lines, the bridges were cut, and Tonsky Bridge is under constant fire by Ukrainian artillery. So it's gonna be probably one of the biggest losses for the Russian army during this war, because basically how can they just swim across the Dnieper River? It's kind of cold, you know, and they could be just devastated over there. So for sure it's the wrongdoing from the Russian side, because without any bridges, well, they still have this Novakhovka bridge that works more or less, but for the 20,000 soldiers, it may take few weeks to withdraw them from the single bridge. So they should have put some of the pontoon bridges there, secure the perimeter, and withdraw their forces. And now it's gonna be chaotic chaos for the place. They may have lots of losses, but the only way for them is just to surrender to Ukrainian army, or just to swim across the Dnieper River. And if they cross it to the other shore, just imagine how demilitarized those soldiers would be. Well, anyways, my friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation here in Ukraine. What you need to do to support my channel is just to press the like button. And if you want to support me financially, there are some of the links in a video description below. You may support me on PayPal, Patreon, or Donatella, whichever is more convenient for you. My friends, I wish you a peaceful sky wherever you are. Have a great time.